Hello and welcome back to WWE 2K20 Universe Mode, and we are kicking things off with a huge tag team match before the Elimination Chamber, but Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura are not waiting, looking to jump Pete Dunne before the match starts after Pete Dunne's dastardly actions, but Samoa Joe not far away, coming out to support his tag team partner here tonight. Our opening contest, Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura teaming up to take on Pete Dunne and Samoa Joe ahead of the Elimination Chamber showdown between Drew McIntyre and Samoa Joe. Of course, Samoa Joe has managed to beat Drew McIntyre in singles competition, one of the few men here in Universe to be able to do it. And Drew McIntyre came face to face with Samoa Joe 2 weeks ago, issuing the challenge that he wanted a shot at Samoa Joe, and at the Elimination Chamber that match will be going ahead. Because Samoa Joe's tag team partner here tonight, Pete Dunne, we saw what he did in the main event of last week's episode of Monday Night Raw. It was a brutal beatdown on his former tag team partner and stablemate, Tyler Bate. Absolutely destroying Tyler Bate, using those brass knucks to take him down, multiple bitter ends. It was a brutal affair, leading to Tyler Bate having to be escorted out of the arena by our medical staff. But Pete Dunne still not had enough of Tyler Bate, beating him down as he was being taken out of the ring, taken out of the arena even, on a medical bed. But Pete Dunne refusing to allow Tyler Bate to leave like that, attacking Bate, damaging him, taking him all the way down. And now the match is finally getting going with all these men back in the ring. Pete Dunne, the legal man, but Drew McIntyre was too distracted with Samoa Joe to realise it, allowing Pete Dunne now to get the upper hand on Drew McIntyre. But Drew managing to fight back, dropping Pete Dunne over the knee. You see the size difference between these two men. Drew McIntyre very much outsizing Pete Dunne, but this is a brand new Pete Dunne. Ever since he has turned his back on British Strong Style, he has been a different, more brutal man, and look at that, using the ropes to get a bit of leverage on Drew McIntyre to be able to plant him headfirst into that mat with the elevated DDT from the second rope. And now Dunne straight away onto that joint manipulation, looking to pull apart Drew McIntyre's body, looking to force Drew McIntyre to give up on this match here tonight. That would be a big upset if it managed to happen. Drew McIntyre, of course, like I said, going forward to face Samoa Joe at the Elimination Chamber. Which one of these two men will end up with all the momentum going into that match? Can Samoa Joe manage to put away Drew McIntyre for the second time? We're going to have to wait and see, but we're getting a bit of a cheeky face-off between these two before that match happens at Elimination Chamber. Both of these men now in the ring together, giving us a preview of what to expect when they go one-on-one in the Elimination Chamber event. Of course, on the rest of this episode of Monday Night Raw, we will be determining the final competitors to enter the #1 contenders match for the Raw Women's Championship inside of that Elimination Chamber. Of course, at the moment being, we have Bianca Belair, Carmella confirmed, and I can also confirm for you right now that Alexa Bliss has been added to this Elimination Chamber match after her big win on Monday Night Raw 2 weeks ago. Of course, being a former Raw Women's Champion, Batista decided to add Alexa Bliss into that match without needing her to qualify officially. Bit bold of Batista, but you know what Batista's like. Batista kind of does his own thing, to be honest with you. But yes, we will be seeing a big tag team match between Rhea Ripley and Sonya Deville teaming up to take on the IIconics. Whichever one of those teams will be winning will be going into that Elimination Chamber, and in our main event tonight, it will be the former Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch going up against Charlotte Flair to determine the final competitor who will be entering that #1 contenders Elimination Chamber. But later on tonight, we will also be seeing the Royal Rumble winner Finn Balor in action. Of course, a couple of weeks ago, Finn Balor called out Brock Lesnar. He was talking about how it felt to win the Royal Rumble, but for Finn, it just wasn't entirely right. It wasn't entirely right because of the fact that he had been destroyed by Brock Lesnar the month before at TLC. And Finn Balor, he has issued a challenge to Brock Lesnar, putting his #1 contendership on the line for WrestleMania. But will Brock Lesnar accept? We still do not know. We do not know whether Brock Lesnar is accepting this match or whether Batista or Paul Heyman is allowing him to accept this match. But maybe we'll find out an answer later tonight when Finn Balor is in action later in our show. Samoa Joe looking down at Shinsuke Nakamura, completely prone on the mat right now. Pete Dunne doing quite a bit of damage to Nakamura, and now Samoa Joe looking to follow up after Pete Dunne hit that big pile driver onto the outside, onto Shinsuke Nakamura. Samoa Joe managing to catch Nakamura and now planting him into the corner in a bad position for Nakamura, but Nakamura getting the knees up, catching Joe with a lariat down to the mat, but Joe straight back up to his feet. Uranagi to Shinsuke Nakamura. And now going down for that pinfall. 1, 2. Samoa Joe not able to put away Shinsuke Nakamura just there. Nakamura still got a lot of energy within him here tonight. But that big back fist there from Samoa Joe taking Nakamura down. And Nakamura looking for that tag to Drew McIntyre as Samoa Joe calls Drew into the ring, calling him in. He wants to go face to face with Drew McIntyre right now. And straight away Joe running clothesline, taking down McIntyre. And he is on top of the former WWE champion right now. But Drew, belly to belly, but Samoa Joe reversing, managing to slide out of that belly to belly suplex. Trying to go for another chop to the chest, but Drew McIntyre managing to avoid it, getting Joe down to the mat. And Drew McIntyre using that core strength of McIntyre to lift up Joe, slam him back down into the mat. Very nice of McIntyre, but now not letting go. Straight away, grabbing the arm, pulling Joe into a big lariat. But Joe refusing to be taken in by Drew McIntyre, managing to get back on the upper ground. And dropping Drew with an atomic drop over the knee of Joe. But Drew managing to throw Joe over the ropes, using Joe's own momentum against him to get him over that top rope. And now McIntyre looking to join Joe on the outside, but Joe throwing him straight back into the ring right now. And wait a second. Oh, I thought we were going to see that Kokita clutch. I thought he was going to lock it in, but instead, these connecting suplexes. The German into the Dragon suplex, into another German, this time holding it for a pin. But Shinsuke Nakamura breaking it up, saving Joe in this match. But Pete Dunne now throwing Nakamura into the ropes. But Drew McIntyre still down in the middle of the ring. Could this be the sight that we see at Elimination Chamber? But Drew McIntyre here is fighting back, grabbing the arm of Joe again into that big lariat to take him down. Drew McIntyre not giving up. It looked like for a second maybe Joe had this one, but Drew refusing to give up right now. Throwing Joe over the top rope. But Shinsuke Nakamura pulling Joe off, working together with his tag team partner to be able to get rid of Samoa Joe right now. But Pete Dunne now getting into the ring, dropping the referee. Come on, Pete. We saw him do this before when he got those brass knuckles out. Is he thinking something similar here tonight after taking down the referee? Waiting for Drew McIntyre to get back in the ring. It looks like a big punch to the side of the face to Drew McIntyre. And now Pete Dunne. Not again. The brass knucks to Drew McIntyre from Pete Dunne. The referee completely out. Does not see it. And Drew is out. In the middle of the ring. Pete Dunne attacking Drew McIntyre with those brass knuckles. And now Samoa Joe's calling him up for that Kokita clutch. Is this going to be it? Is this going to be enough? But Drew McIntyre, Drew fighting back, refusing to give up. And Pete Dunne wants that tag. He wants to be the man to put away Drew McIntyre here tonight. That would be a massive victory for Pete Dunne. That would really prove how much he has changed, how much he has managed to bring himself up to the top of the card. If he could put away a competitor like Drew McIntyre, even if it involves cheating, using those brass knucks. But you see the effect it's had on Drew. You just look at him right now, completely prone on the outside, not being able to get to his feet, taking such a long amount of time. Potentially we could be seeing a count-out victory here for Joe and Dunne. But Drew McIntyre manages to get back into his feet, back in the ring for the 7 count. But Drew McIntyre almost caught there by Samoa Joe, but instead managed to get underneath of the arm, grabbing Joe, pulling him up and slamming him down into the mat. And now Drew getting Joe up to a seated position, pulling him all the way back up to his feet. What is Drew McIntyre thinking here? Trying to go for a big suplex, but Samoa Joe reversing it. Getting a suplex of his own, and Drew needs that tag right now. Drew needs that tag to Shinsuke Nakamura. Let's be honest, this is very important for Drew McIntyre. Samoa Joe threw Drew into the corner and Shinsuke took advantage, trying to find the opportunity, and Kinshasa! Has Shinsuke Nakamura just put away Samoa Joe? 1, 2, no, Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne breaking up the pinfall there, saving the match for himself and his partner, but that Kinshasa right to the face of Samoa Joe. Very impressive there by Nakamura, but wait a second. Joe straight away, that Kokita clutch onto Shinsuke Nakamura. Is he going to be forced to go to sleep? Is he going to be forced to tap out right now to the Kokita clutch of Samoa Joe? But Drew McIntyre back to his feet, breaking up the submission, not wanting this to be over just yet, wanting to be able to win this. And Samoa Joe now attacking Drew, taking him off the apron and getting Shinsuke straight back up to his feet. What is Joe going to be thinking here? Just staring at Shinsuke Nakamura, the half asleep man. And again, the Kokita clutch in for a second time. No Drew McIntyre to be seen this time. And is Shinsuke going to be able to hold on? He is nowhere near the ropes. There is no way for him to break this up. He just has to hold on, but he can't do it. Shinsuke Nakamura forced to tap out tonight. And Samoa Joe and Pete Dunne, both of them proving how despicable they can be. Big victory here tonight for Joe and Dunne, as Joe picks up all the momentum heading into his face-off with Drew McIntyre at the Elimination Chamber. You got to think Drew won't be happy about what Pete Dunne did, using those brass knucks and punching Drew in the face. You got to think Drew probably won't be too happy with that. But what a big victory here tonight for these guys. But of course we will be seeing Drew McIntyre and Samoa Joe at the Elimination Chamber 1-on-1, and that is going to be a hell of a match between those two men. But for tonight, Samoa Joe does it. Can he do it again at the Elimination Chamber? But now we move on to tag team action here tonight in the women's division, as we determine more competitors in the #1 contenders of Raw Women's Championship, the Elimination Chamber match. Whichever tag team wins this match will earn 2 places in that Elimination Chamber. Will it be the IIconics, a tag team who knows each other so well? They are a tag team. They will always be a tag team. But tonight they're going up against 2 women who are definitely not a tag team. 2 women who are teaming up for the first time here tonight to try and get an opportunity to get the #1 contendership for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. One of those women is Rhea Ripley, a former champion in her own right, holding that Raw Women's Championship twice, only just for a second before it was snatched away for her by Shayna Baszler, Miss Money in the Bank. But tonight she is teaming up with Sonya Deville, a woman who has been on the cusp of that Raw Women's Championship, getting very close to beating Becky Lynch for it back at SummerSlam, but unfortunately not being able to get the job done. But which one of these teams will be able to win tonight? Will it be the actual tag team, or will the power and the strength of these 2 singles competitors be enough to put away a tag team tonight? Rhea Ripley getting the early attack onto Billie Kay here, looking for that tag to Sonya Deville potentially. Yes, she is. I'm kind of surprised these 2 going straight for a tag. But of course this does mean a lot, the opportunity to get a main event at WrestleMania for that Raw Women's Championship. But honestly, I'm surprised these 2 women are working together so well. Roll up from Sonya, but Billie Kay managing to roll it back, but Sonya managing to kick out. Billie Kay not being able to get that tag over to Peyton Royce, but look at this, the Meteora straight to the face of Sonya Deville. Is Billie Kay going for that tag? No, going for that pin instead. 1. Only a 1 count for Sonya Deville. Billie Kay still stuck in the ring. Rhea and Sonya doing a very good job at isolating Billie Kay, preventing the tag. But Sonya Deville now managing to take down Billie Kay, catching her into that submission, that chokehold, that triangle choke. Can Billie Kay survive, or is she going to be forced to tap out? Peyton trying to break it up, but too late. And Sonya, Deville and Rhea Ripley are moving forward to that #1 contenders Elimination Chamber match. We now only have one woman left to work out who it's going to be, and that'll be in our main event here tonight. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. But Rhea Ripley, Sonya Deville joining the Elimination Chamber, and now AJ Styles in action here tonight in singles competition. But look who he's accompanied by Sami Zayn. These two men firmly on the same page after the attacks from Kevin Owens and the AOP. And well, AJ Styles and Sami Zayn have issued a challenge. They have challenged AOP for their Raw Tag Team Championships, and I can confirm that at the Elimination Chamber it will be AJ Styles and Sami Zayn versus AOP for those Raw Tag Team Championships. And it's going to be very interesting to see whether AOP, a formidable tag team, can take on these two former WWE champions. Very interesting indeed. Can AJ and Sami stay on the same page long enough? But tonight AJ Styles issued an open challenge to go and face any member of a tag team. And tonight he's going to be facing off against Mojo Rawley from Hype Air. It's going to be interesting if Mojo can manage to put away AJ Styles here tonight, a former WWE champion. But of course Mojo will have Mark Andrews on the outside to support him. But this is a one-on-one singles match, not a tag team contest. It's going to be very interesting to see if Mojo can still be able to be as good as he is in tag team matches here in singles competition. But of course, Sami Zayn has not wrestled. He has not wrestled a single match since he has come back. He returned in the Royal Rumble, but has not had a single singles match, tag match, any kind of match since all the way back at SummerSlam. Or maybe the week after SummerSlam might have been the last match that he had before Kevin Owens took him out, destroying, breaking Sami Zayn's arm along with the AOP, writing Sami Zayn off for months and months until the Royal Rumble, where Sami Zayn managed to come back and be in that match for quite a bit of time, to be honest, but unfortunately getting eliminated. But Sami, maybe he's not at 100% health, because he still hasn't wrestled, he still hasn't had a match yet to prove that he's really up there, that he's got everything back. But we're going to find out with the Elimination Chamber when they go in a tag team contest against AOP, whether Sami Zayn can still go, or whether his injury has really damaged his career. We're going to find out. We're going to find out very soon indeed. You've got to think AOP and Kevin Owens are going to be watching this match very carefully, watching on. But Kevin Owens hasn't been here. Ever since his match with AJ Styles 2 weeks ago, Kevin Owens has not been in the arena. We saw last week AOP in action, no Kevin Owens supporting them. And Kevin Owens is not here again tonight. You've got to wonder whether perhaps he is a bit scared of Sami Zayn. He doesn't want to deal with Sami Zayn. He's afraid of what Sami's going to do to him once those two eventually cross paths, and you know it's going to happen. Sami Zayn is not going to have forgiven Kevin Owens for what he put him through. You can see by the fact that he's going straight after those Raw Tag Team Championships, wanting to take away that gold from Kevin Owens' private security team, AOP. But look at this strength of Mojo Rawley, definitely the bigger man in the match, but AJ Styles using his veteran ways to be able to drop the knee onto the head, now into the roll-up crucifix pin onto Mojo Rawley, but Mojo managing to kick out at one there. But AJ Styles now going high risk, going onto that top rope. What is he looking for here? Spinal tap onto Mojo Rawley, going into that pin for 1, 2. Only a 1 count there. Of course, Hype Air has been a very strong tag team. Only lost 1 match, I believe, and that was in the Eliminator Tag Team Tournament. But apart from that, they have been a very strong team here on Monday Night Raw, picking up a lot of victories. And it's really been that size comparison. Oh, the phenomenal forward, but Mojo managing to avoid disaster there. That would have been it for Mojo if AJ had hit that, but he managed to avoid it. But I would say it's really been the chemistry between Mojo and Mark Andrews that's made that team work. Like, you look at the size in between those two men. Mark Andrews is able to fly around the ring, whereas Mojo can come in and just break you down. He is a big, strong man, a former American footballer. Like, he's not going to really take he's not going to take no for an answer, let's be honest. And look at that, the strength, slamming AJ Styles straight down into the mat. 1, 2. Oh, but AJ just managing to kick out a 2.9, surviving that huge attack there from Mojo Rawley. Mojo cannot believe it. But if you can't, you have to remember, AJ, former WWE champion, he's not going to go down easy in the slightest. And this would be the upset of Mojo Rawley's career if he could put away AJ Styles here tonight. It would be a massive upset victory for Mojo Rawley. But AJ Styles still on his feet, not allowing Mojo to be able to get in any offense. Quick reversals between these two men at the moment being until Mojo Rawley hitting that lariat to the back of the head of AJ Styles, taking him down to the mat now. Kick to the midsection, but Styles reversing, getting that clothesline to the face of Mojo Rawley, taking him down. And AJ now waiting, going to the outside once again, setting up for that phenomenal forearm. Can he hit it this time? And yes, he does. Direct to the face of Mojo Rawley, and now AJ going for that pin. Is that enough? 1, 2, no! Somehow Mojo somehow kicking out of that phenomenal forearm. That is very surprising. That's not what I expected to see. I thought that was going to be match 1 for AJ Styles, but AJ following it up with that Styles clash onto Rawley, and he manages to hit it, rolling over into the pinfall position. 1, 2, 3, and what a victory here tonight for AJ Styles, sending a message to the tag team division, as he himself and Sami Zayn will be going on to face for those Raw Tag Team Championships at the Elimination Chamber. Can they do it? Can they work together as a team? But we're going to have to find out at the Elimination Chamber, in what is sure to be a hell of a contest between those two tag teams in Sami Zayn's return match to the ring. But now the Royal Rumble winner is out here having a one-on-one contest, and he has issued a challenge to Luke Gallows. He chose Luke Gallows specifically because of how tall and strong and big Luke Gallows is. Finn Balor wants to prove that he can beat a Goliath here tonight. He wants to have the best chance possible to go and beat Brock Lesnar at the Elimination Chamber. But that is if Brock Lesnar decides to accept Finn Balor's challenge, or, well, if he's given permission to accept Finn Balor's challenge by Paul Heyman or Batista, whoever it is that really controls Brock Lesnar. And that's what Finn Balor was pointing out in his promo a few weeks ago, pointing out that realistically Brock Lesnar, he's a mercenary for hire, but he's being controlled by Batista, being controlled by Paul Heyman. He has the reins on the beast. And well, does Brock Lesnar really have the free will to go and make this decision? We're going to have to wait and see whether Brock decides to accept Finn Balor's challenge. But for tonight, Finn Balor taking on Luke Gallows from the club. Big drop kick to the side of the head. Very smart of Finn Balor, pulling Gallows down to the mat to try and pull away this size and strength advantage. Keeping Gallows down to the mat, using the top rope elbow drop to be able to take him down. And look at this, the strength of Balor taking down Gallows. Gallows rolling back to his feet, catching Finn Balor this time, looking to use his strength. But Finn Balor managing to get under the arm, breaking away, and now pulling Gallows down using his own weight against him. And Balor up to the top rope, looking for that coup de grace. Coup de grace to Gallows. And 1, 2. Gallows just managing to kick out. Balor perhaps going for that coup de grace a bit too early in this match. But he was very close, and now following up with another double stomp to the chest of Gallows, not allowing Gallows to get back to his feet. Very clever from Finn Balor, up to the top rope again. Dropping another elbow drop, just continually keeping Gallows down to the mat. 1, 2, 3. And Finn Balor managing to do the damage from the coup de grace was too much. And then the continued attacks. But wait a second. Brock Lesnar is here, attacking Finn Balor and Gallows. You gotta say, that's probably gonna be Brock Lesnar accepting. The match is on for the Elimination Chamber. Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar. #1 contendership on the line. We move on now to our main event as we find out the final competitor in the Raw Women's Championship Elimination Chamber #1 contenders match. And Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch will be going one-on-one in our main event here. Of course, Becky Lynch, a former Raw Women's Champion, but Charlotte Flair never been able to get her hands on the gold. Hasn't managed to have a one-on-one match for that championship yet in Universe mode. And if her first opportunity is at WrestleMania, well, I'm sure the Queen will be very happy with that. But Charlotte's going to have to go through this one right here to get there. She's going to have to beat the former Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, the woman who is still on a tirade, wanting to get revenge on Shayna Baszler, our current Raw Women's Champion. Of course, Shayna Baszler cost Becky Lynch the championship all the way back at Clash of Champions. Well, Becky Lynch did lose to Shayna Baszler in a ladder match for that Money in the Bank briefcase at the next pay-per-view Hell in a Cell, but Becky Lynch has not given up on Shayna Baszler. She still wants to be able to put away Shayna Baszler, do what Shayna did to Becky Lynch, and take away that championship from around Shayna Baszler's waist. But she has to go through Charlotte Flair here tonight, and if she manages to, she still has to go through 5 other women inside of that Elimination Chamber, which is not an easy prospect in the slightest. Kick to the back there from Charlotte Flair, now following up as she drops the knee to the back of Becky Lynch. I can also confirm to you that at Elimination Chamber, Aleister Black, we saw a couple of weeks ago, he sent in a video of him attacking Matt Hardy. And well, Aleister Black has sent another message to The Fiend, calling him out to come face to face with Aleister Black at the Elimination Chamber. So we'll have to see, will The Fiend accept the challenge of Aleister Black? Will The Fiend turn up at the Elimination Chamber and go face to face with the Man of Black? It's going to be very interesting to see what happens if those two men do go face to face in the middle of the ring. A heated rivalry between those two. But back to the match at hand, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, two of the strongest women in our women's division here on Monday Night Raw, and the big boots from Charlotte Flair to Becky Lynch, and Becky already looking at the lights. Already down for a 2 count, not what you would have expected from Becky Lynch, but completely caught off guard by that big kick, that big boot from Charlotte Flair. And now Charlotte in the corner looking at Becky, trying to get Becky back up to her feet, taunting her from the corner. And Becky slowly making her way up, caught by the lariat, but no, Becky Lynch underneath, ducking from underneath the lariat from Charlotte Flair, and then catching her with a big fist to the face, but Charlotte Flair managing to kick out at a 1 count there. Becky, though, not giving up, drop kick to the shoulders of Charlotte as she brings her back up to her feet. And what is she looking for here? But unfortunately, Charlotte Flair managing to get behind Becky Lynch, and Charlotte now being caught by Becky, trying to go for that German suplex, but quick turnarounds by these two, quick reversals. They keep on breaking out these German suplexes. But now Charlotte Flair managing to get the upper hand. No, Becky Lynch, elbow to the face. These two women not being able to get a single move off until Becky Lynch finally dropping Charlotte Flair onto that arm, trying to set up for that disarmer, of course, looking to make Charlotte Flair tap out, but another big boot to the face of Becky Lynch. 1, 2. Charlotte Flair really getting off to a good start in this one. Those two big boots have really been able to knock the momentum away from Becky Lynch. And now, is this going to be enough? Is she going to be able to tap out Becky Lynch right here, looking for that figure 8? Is she going to get the full elevation? And yes, she does. The figure 8 fully locked in. Is Becky Lynch going to be forced to tap out to the figure 8 right here? Becky nowhere near to the rope. She is going to have to fight out of this. She's going to have to somehow manage to break this hold if she wants to survive. And wait a second, Becky grabbing the leg of Charlotte, managing to dislodge the figure 8 and punching Charlotte in the face, forcing her to relinquish the hold. But the damage could have been done already to the legs of Becky Lynch. Oh, wait a second, Charlotte straight away back on Becky Lynch. Natural selection. Not giving Becky Lynch a second to think. Charlotte Flair straight back on her. 1, 2, 3, no. Becky Lynch managing to kick out of the natural selection after being locked into that figure 8 for such a long amount of time. Very wise from Charlotte Flair. She knows how much this means, and she is not letting up on Becky Lynch here tonight. Continually attacking Lynch, trying to do as much damage as possible, trying to make sure she makes her way inside of this Elimination Chamber. Charlotte Flair desperately wants to get that main event of WrestleMania. It means so much to main event WrestleMania and potentially win that Raw Women's Championship, meaning that you are the best in this division. And again, these women know each other so well. These quick reversals between them, reversal after reversal after reversal. And now Becky Lynch grabbing the arm of Charlotte, arm dragging her down to the mat, going for a pinfall, but Charlotte kicking out of one yet again. Charlotte back out to her feet before Becky. Becky kind of taken aback by what Charlotte's been able to bring out in this match. And Charlotte wisely using the escape from the ring, rolling her way out of the ring to be able to get away from Becky Lynch. And trying to go for another big move, but Becky Lynch managing to catch her with a lariat, taking her down to the mat. And now what is Becky thinking here? Or whatever it was, Charlotte Flair managing to reverse, taking down Becky, dropping her face first into the mat. And now Becky, again, reversal after reversal, these women, crucifix bomb to Charlotte Flair there from Becky Lynch. And now Becky looking for that pinfall, looking to pin Charlotte Flair down to the mat, but Charlotte kicking out at a one. Still alive in this one, refusing to give up. And Becky Lynch, you see how long it's taken her to get back to her feet. She is tired already. And wait a second, the Bexploder suplex, is that enough to put away Flair here tonight? The Bexploder suplex, we've seen it put away so many women. 1, 2, no! 1.9, Charlotte managing to kick out before the 2 count even, and Becky Lynch cannot believe it, but she does not have time to waste. Catching Charlotte Flair, Charlotte going for the lariat, but catching her into that disarmer, and this has got to be it. Charlotte Flair going to be forced to tap out in the middle of the ring. Going to be forced to tap out to Becky Lynch right now. Can she hang on? She's nowhere near the ropes. Becky Lynch not going to give up. But wait a second. Charlotte Flair managing to get her arm loose. Catching Becky Lynch with the back elbow there. And Becky Lynch down on the mat in prone position for another figure 8. Is she going to be able to get that elevation? Can she get it? Yes, she does. Becky Lynch in the middle of the ring, nowhere to go, and the figure 8 locked in. The figure 8 locked in. Is this going to be too much? Is Becky Lynch going to be forced to tap out to Charlotte Flair right now? Charlotte holding on for dear life, and Becky does. Becky submits. My goodness, what an upset there. An upset for Charlotte Flair, managing to tap out Becky Lynch. It might be the first time we've ever seen Becky Lynch tap out in the middle of the ring, but that figure 8 from Charlotte Flair was enough to put away Becky Lynch. And you got to say, Charlotte, she deserved that win tonight. She gave that her absolute all. Those big boots, doing that figure 8 and then straight away into that natural selection was very clever from Charlotte Flair, but the second figure 8 was too much. But we do now have our fields confirmed for the Elimination Chamber. It will be Charlotte, Sonya Deville, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Carmella, and Alexa Bliss. It is going to be a great show. You do not want to miss it, but thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.